You are interested in the unknown, the mysterious, the unexplainable. That is why you are here.
Guess what, everybody? It's time for another Code Rad show. And if you know the Code Rad show, you know we love fishmen. And we also like classic television to the exclusion of almost everything else. But when I watched a movie this weekend about fishmen terrorizing some lonesome people on a barren island, I thought I got to talk about this. And what better opportunity than the Code Rad show? So here we are. Movies based on the story of The Shadow over Innsmouth have been plentiful. There's a lot of them out there. As you see, my thumbnail is covering up Humanoids of the Deep a little bit. Not a direct interpretation, but in the middle there is a Japanese television adaptation of Shadow over Innsmouth from the 1990s. Very low budget, rubber fish masks. Beautiful, wonderful adaptation. Great to see how H.P. Lovecraft is interpreted by other cultures. And they're kind of squeezed in the edge there is Stuart Gordon's Dagon, which, even though it's named after one H.P. Lovecraft story, it is a pretty good retelling of Shadow over Innsmouth. No Jeffrey Combs, which is sad. The main character really feels like he was written for Jeffrey Combs. So it's sad that he's not in it for whatever reason. I think schedule conflict. And there is some over-the-top gore that really just comes from out of nowhere. There's a few things in the movie that come from out of nowhere, which is good. You see an adaptation. It's nice to get a few surprises. But, yeah. Did I mention that we discussed the Japanese Shadow over Innsmouth on Code Rad a few months ago? I will link to that video. I highly recommend it. But today we are talking about Cold Skin, movie I never heard about before a few weeks ago. It was released in 2017 as my snazzy graphics show. Here is a poster for it. We are never too far from those we hate. That's a line of dialogue from the movie. Actually, kind of not narration, not so much dialogue. You do get the sense that this movie strives for philosophical importance, which I don't know how much it really achieves. This tagline, "We are never too far from those we hate," I don't think that has like much resonance with the action in the movie. I'm pretty sure one of the characters says at least once, maybe even twice, that no man is an island. Which this is a story about two men on an island, and how much does that have to do with the themes of the movie of being attacked by fish people? I'm not sure. I did not get a lot of real depth from this movie, philosophically speaking. I mean, I don't mean that in a bad way. Just did not strike me that way. And, and movies don't have to really thematically be profound, even though, a lot of times I'm just too dumb to get the philosophical underpinnings. So 2017, Cold Skin, directed by, I'm just going to go with American pronunciation, Xavier Gens. I think he's most famous for the movie Frontier. Here's a picture of him. He really looks like he's got a little bit of the Innsmouth look himself. He could pass as someone walking around Innsmouth. He made, he didn't make, he was in a movie called The Horde, a zombie movie. By 2009, I was kind of burned out on zombie movies and stuff. I don't remember exactly when Walking Dead came out, but by the time Walking Dead came out, I was kind of over zombies. I'm speaking as a huge zombie fanatic there. And I did watch the first couple of seasons of Walking Dead, and it was fine. Budapest came out the same year as Cold Skin, which I wanted to just remark upon briefly because I've been to Budapest. It was a lovely vacation. I guess it's a movie about bachelor parties, a comedy going on in Budapest, which I saw some evidence of that sort of thing. It was a bit of a pain to get from Philadelphia to Hungary. I could see, though, if you had a direct flight from Europe, a fun place to go spend a weekend. So I would like to check out this movie. And then his Xavier's most recent movie is Under Paris. I remember hearing about this. The whole Netflix ecology movies come out or TV shows come out, and then they just kind of get flushed down the chute really quick if you don't catch it right away. So I remember people talking about Shark in the Seine movie. You don't catch it right away. I guess it came out early last summer. You might forget about it totally. The new season of Dark Mirror, a show I don't care for, by the way. If you don't watch it like the first week when there's all the hype, it'll go away and you will totally forget about it, unless you remember it and actively seek it out. Cold Skin stars Ray Stevenson, who I guess played the Punisher in a couple of movies. Again, I've never seen. I don't think I've ever seen a Punisher movie. Again, if you're looking for a YouTube channel with a host who knows everything about pop culture and this kind of stuff, this is not the place you want to be. I'm on a journey of discovery. I know a little bit about a lot. And this is David Oakes. I should go back and say a little bit about these characters. Ray Stevenson's character is named Gruner, who is one of the most memorable character names ever because he speaks in the third person a lot. Kind of a nice touch. A loner on an island who refers to himself in the third person. So he says, Gruner is an island unto himself, and lines like that. Gruner can take care of himself even when he's being attacked by legions of fishmen. David Oakes plays a guy who, again, we're getting into the philosophical side of things because his character's only name, as far as I know, is Friend. Gruner names him Friend. So you've got the no man is an island. You've got Friend, who appears from Europe. It is the eve of the Great War. I believe there's a shot of a newspaper which shows Franz Ferdinand has been assassinated. This guy leaves Europe, goes down to the bottom of the planet. There's a few mentions that they are in Antarctica or close to it. So this guy leaves civilization, goes to one of the most barren places on Earth to escape war, only to be attacked every night by icky fishmen. Now, this woman plays the resident fish person who lives on the island. She's sympathetic. I chose this picture because you don't see her looking anything at all like this in the movie, and we will take a look at the trailer where you'll get to see how she looks in the movie. So let's get into the trailer and see what you think of it. And I will add my 2 cents as to, my review of the movie. Here we go. All right. No sound, but that's okay, because then you can hear me talking about it. Here is Friend arriving. Here is Gruner, grizzled old hermit, very unfriendly. Here is Friends looking at his ship sailing away. He's now on this barren, beautiful islands, tons of moss. I imagine a lot of this movie was done with CGI, but you can't tell. It looks fantastic. The beautiful island, the scenery. But when it gets dark, it's a whole different thing. As soon as it gets dark, that happens. So, yeah, pretty freaky. Oh, and there you can see he looks out his window, surrounded by the fishmen. So, a perfectly good setup for a horror movie. finds a gun, which I thought was a little bit implausible because that was my biggest nitpick of the movie. This guy here on the lighthouse, Gruner, there's no way he would let a gun, a rifle like that, just sit there unused. Because when Friend arrives on the island, his job is to be the new weatherman. He's recording the wind for, his government in Europe. And the old weatherman is gone. And I'm sure Gruner would not have let a rifle and ammunition just sit there unused. But that's just a nitpick. So, when Friend realizes what the score is, they are constantly being attacked by fish people. Here is Anaris. Having trouble freezing on her, which is okay. I mean, if you're interested in this movie, you will get to see plenty of her. So for a movie that strives for philosophical significance, a bunch of CGI, humanoids just attacking, throwing themselves at a lighthouse doesn't really do it for me. I feel like when they did that Will Smith movie, his adaptation of I Am Legend, that was my first experience that I recall with like really obvious zombie CGI. Not my thing. So, it would have been nice if they could have made this situation creepier, not just, taking a rifle and blood, and then just, you wake up and it's not that creepy. So there's a lot of this. And you might get sort of you probably figured out why was that there a tender scene between Friends and the woman who came from the deep. Yes, you guessed correctly. And here is the coolest scene. And if you want to go for like some sort of profundity, here he puts on the diving outfit, goes down to the bottom of the ocean to a shipwreck to salvage some dynamite. That was pretty freaking cool. And, of course, there was all the Freudian, Jungian symbolism of descending into the deeps. And this was pretty cool. Like I said, probably they must have done some CGI, but it looks great. Love the old school diving suits. Little kid, humanoid from the deep. And there in 2018, you could see it on some horror channel in Glasgow, or maybe it was a horror festival. So there you have it, Cold Skin. Oh, obviously owes a debt to Shadow over Innsmouth, but not very Lovecraftian. Not too much about this movie was very creepy or ominous, which I think is a very important ingredient for a Lovecraftian movie. So that's all I've got to say. Thank you for joining me, and I will be back soon. This is Code Red signing out.